No, I never congratulate anybody, okay? You know, even my drivers and stuff, you put them out there, you expect them to win the race. That's what you put them out there for.
What happens when the most iconic name in NASCAR refuses to congratulate a historic victory? That question has fueled debate ever since Richard Petty, the man known simply as the King, remained silent after Bubba Wallace became the first black driver to win a major race on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway's famed 2.5-mile oval. It wasn't just a win, it was a moment drenched in history, grit, and emotional weight, and Petty's silence made it even louder. On July 27, 2025, Wallace pulled off what many thought impossible. He took the checkered flag at the Brickyard 400, one of NASCAR's crown jewel events. His victory broke a 100-race drought and came amid a chaotic race filled with weather delays, double overtime, and last-lap drama against Kyle Larson. It was the kind of finish that rewrites legacies. For Wallace, it marked his third career Cup win, but his first at a track soaked in tradition and pressure.
The Brickyard belongs to Bubba. Wallace wins at Indy, and he's going to the playoffs.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Wallace had started his career in NASCAR's top series behind the wheel of the iconic number 43 car for Richard Petty Motorsports. From 2017 to 2020, he raced without a single Cup win to his name, but gained attention for his talent and growing voice in the sport. That foundation, built with Petty's team, was crucial. So naturally, fans expected some recognition from the man whose name is synonymous with stock car royalty. Instead, they got silent. When asked directly whether he congratulated Wallace, Petty gave a cold and direct answer. "No, I never congratulate anybody, even my drivers. You put them out there to win the race. That's what they're supposed to do." The reaction was swift and divided. Some praised Petty's consistency, his old-school mentality that performance speaks for itself. Others saw it as dismissive and tone-deaf, especially given the cultural weight of Wallace's win. But to understand Petty's stance, you have to understand the mindset of a man who once dominated NASCAR with 200 wins and a standard of excellence that was almost brutal. Petty's view is simple. Praise is for spectators. Drivers are expected to deliver. That's the way he operated during his reign, and it's the creed he continued to uphold long after stepping out of the driver's seat. It's not about disrespect. It's about expectations. Yet even within that philosophy, the moment felt like it called for more. Bubba Wallace wasn't fazed. His post-race interviews focused on family, especially his infant son. He talked about perseverance, legal hurdles involving his team's charter status, and how he raced with the voice of Michael Jordan in his head, pushing him forward. The victory meant something deeply personal, and while he didn't call out Petty, his silence in response spoke volumes too. What adds another layer to this story is that Petty had more than just one criticism following the Brickyard 400. In the days after the race, he turned his attention to the track itself and to the man who owns it. Roger Penske, who acquired Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the IndyCar Series in 2019, had promised to restore the Brickyard to its past glory. But in Petty's eyes, that mission is far from complete. Attendance for the 2025 Brickyard was reportedly down to around 65,000. That's a drop from the 70,000 seen in 2024 and a fraction of the six-figure crowds that once filled the venue. Petty called the event a disappointment and went further, labeling the Speedway as a problem. According to him, the track rarely delivers compelling racing. Maybe 2 or 3 great finishes in its entire Cup Series history. He didn't stop there. Petty contrasted today's races with the ones he dominated in the past. Back then, the fastest car won. Now it's about strategy, fuel conservation, pit timing, caution placement. That kind of racing, in his view, turns athletes into calculators. It's a sharp critique, especially when coming from someone who helped define what a race should look like. Other legends like Mark Martin have voiced similar concerns about the direction NASCAR is taking. The focus has shifted from pure racing to strategic entertainment. Fans see it. Drivers feel it. And voices like Petty's are growing louder in their skepticism. Roger Penske, at 82, is no stranger to pressure. Known for his business acumen and racing empire, he took on IMS with big dreams. But even with resources, experience, and brand recognition, the Brickyard is proving to be a tough fix. The question isn't just about attendance, it's about whether the race itself can still capture the imagination of fans in a way that feels authentic. Petty's comments add another layer of urgency. When the man whose legacy defines NASCAR calls your crown jewel a problem, people listen, and it's not coming from a place of bitterness. It's coming from experience, from decades of watching the sport evolve, and sometimes devolve. All of this happens while Wallace continues to push forward. His victory wasn't just a fluke or a rain-shortened anomaly, it was hard-earned and well-executed. For fans, especially those who have followed his rise from RPM to 23:11 racing, the Brickyard win felt like a payoff years in the making. And yet, the absence of a simple congratulation from the man who helped start that journey shows just how wide the generational gap has become in NASCAR. Petty sees Wallace's win as expected. Wallace sees it as extraordinary. Fans are left to wonder whether both can be true. The broader story here isn't just about one win or one quote, it's about what racing means today. Is it raw performance or strategic execution? Is it tradition or transformation? Is it enough to win, or does how you win still matter? Richard Petty's silence, his criticisms, and his nostalgia all point to a sport in flux. One that's trying to honor its past while building a future. One that celebrates milestones like Wallace's victory but still struggles to define what those milestones mean in the grand scheme. For Petty, perhaps the race didn't thrill. Perhaps it relied too much on strategy. Perhaps it didn't meet the standard of what the Brickyard used to be. But for Wallace and his fans, it meant everything. And sometimes that's the point. The king doesn't hand out praise. He never has. But his silence after the Brickyard said more than words ever could. It revealed the growing tension between generations, between styles, and between what racing once was and what it's becoming. Whether you side with tradition or progress, one thing is clear. The moment was real, the win was earned, and NASCAR, caught between past and future, continues to write its next chapter in tire smoke and silence. What remains to be seen is whether NASCAR listens. Petty's words, or lack thereof, are not just a reflection of one man's opinion. They are a mirror held up to the entire sport. As Wallace's star continues to rise, so too does the pressure on NASCAR to find balance. It has to evolve without losing its soul. It must embrace new heroes without forgetting the icons who built its foundations. And it must learn to navigate moments where silence, more than applause, reveals the hardest truths. This isn't just about one race or one rivalry. It's a spotlight on how sports transition from legacy to future. NASCAR has the chance to unite both in a way that celebrates history while embracing change. And if it can do that, the silence from legends like Petty might finally give way to recognition, not because it's expected, but because it's earned. If you found this story as powerful as we did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more NASCAR stories that go beyond the finish line.